Good evening and many thanks for joining us. This is QTV Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM. With me, Ansmana Isonyase. Here are the main news headlines. The Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy on Thursday validated the deliverables of the consultancy on identifying and strengthening cybersecurity management and critical information infrastructure of the Gambia. Turkey's embassy in the Gambia celebrated the 102nd anniversary of the Republic of Turkey with Ambassador F. Torka Oba reaffirming his country's commitment to peace, diplomacy and stronger ties with the Gambia. And as part of preparations for the 30th United Nations Climate Change Conference COP30 scheduled to take place in Brazil, the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources organized a forum on Wednesday to orient accredited national delegates on key aspects of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. And the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy launched the We Elevate project, an initiative designed to empower women-led micro, small and medium enterprises to embrace digital transformation and strengthen their participation in the digital economy. And in international news, on Thursday, the 30th of October, Chinese President Xi Jinping met with U.S. President Donald J. Trump in Busan, South Korea, on the sidelines of the upcoming APEC Leaders Summit. Stay tuned as we bring you more on these and other stories. And now here's the news in detail. The Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy on Thursday validated the deliverables of the consultancy on identifying and strengthening cybersecurity management and critical infrastructure of the Gambia. Jacqueline Coley reports.
As the Gambia transitions towards increasingly digitalized world, cybersecurity is a priority consideration. The key deliverables validated during the session included the National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Policy, CIIP, and the National CIIP regulations, the Regulation on Critical Information Risk Management, CIRM, and the Continuous Risk Assessment Guideline Report. Officials from the ministry say these form the backbone of the Gambia's national cybersecurity resilience and infrastructure protection strategy, aimed at safeguarding critical systems and ensuring a coordinated response to potential cyber threats. Sanusi Drame, Director of Cybersecurity at the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, highlighted the importance of strengthening mechanisms to ensure compliance with data protection laws.
The essence of these documents is to lay the ground and have a sense of direction by government and key stakeholders in ensuring a resilient cybersecurity ecosystem. But we must start that with protecting our critical information infrastructure entities, because these are the entities or the organizations that carry essential services that people and businesses utilize daily.
Mr. Drame also noted that the findings from the validation exercise would significantly influence future cybersecurity policy decisions, particularly in aligning national priorities with emerging global best practice.
Yes. Cybersecurity is not the responsibility of one ministry or one sector. It is a shared national imperative. It requires coordination across government, collaboration with the private sector, engagement with academia, and trust with civil society. It requires that we move from silos to systems, from reaction to readiness, and from vulnerability to vigilance.
On his part, Siring Omar Lo, project coordinator, outlined the key priorities of the project, which include building institutional capacity, strengthening governance frameworks, and enhancing the protection of critical digital infrastructure.
The key things is connectivity. So for connectivity, we're in the process right now of launching a tender for a new submarine cable. Now, what would that mean for Gambia? It would mean that we'll have redundancy, but also increased capacity. And depending on the business model of the new cable, you can look forward to better internet and cheaper internet. right? So that is what we're fighting for.
The validation workshop is a major step in the Gambia's efforts to establish a secure and resilient digital ecosystem capable of supporting its growing digital economy. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jacqueline Collie.
Now, Turkey's embassy in the Gambia celebrated the 102nd anniversary of the Republic of Turkey, with Ambassador F. Toka Oba reaffirming his country's commitment to peace, diplomacy, and stronger ties with the Gambia. Jilenjai reports.
On October 29, 1923, under the visionary leadership of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the people of Turkey led the foundation of a modern, democratic, and sovereign nation. The Republic has since become a beacon of resilience and progress, guided by Atatürk's timeless vision, peace at home, peace in the world. Ambassador Turka Oba emphasized Turkey's continued commitment to peace, diplomacy, and stronger bilateral relations with the Gambia, noting that Turkey remains an island of stability in her region despite global challenges.
We support the Gambian efforts in the field of interconnectivity and tourism. The direct flight between Istanbul and Banjul, operated by our flag carrier Turkish Airlines, is significantly contributing. I'm happy to inform you that starting this week, the number of frequency has been increased to 5 per week. It was free on my arrival almost 2 years ago.
Highlighting bilateral cooperation, Ambassador Oba pointed to Turkey's growing partnerships with the Gambia in education, defense, trade, and infrastructure, noting that bilateral trade exceeded $88 million in 2024.
Turkish companies are investing in strategic sectors including port operation and construction, energy and ferry operation to support the National Development Plan (YRIVA). We have a bright future ahead of us. Military and defense cooperation are among the main pillars of our relations since the early 90s. Turkish military instructors have provided training to Gambian armed forces and Gambian police forces over the years. Many are also currently pursuing their training in Turkey. Esteemed guests, Turkey remains as one of the top donor countries in the world in terms of humanitarian assistance and capacity building, thanks to our development agency, TICA.
Sering Mudunjai, the Gambia's Minister of Foreign Affairs, said that since the establishment of diplomatic ties, the two nations have nurtured a relationship anchored in mutual respect, solidarity, and shared values. Both countries have consistently supported each other in multilateral forums, particularly the United Nations and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC.
Turkish enterprises have made notable contribution to the Gambia's socio-economic transformation, particularly in electricity generation, port management, and ferry services. These partnerships exemplify Turkey's steadfast role as a trusted partner in the Gambia's national development journey.
President Erdogan paid an official visit to the Gambia on 27 January 2020, marking the first ever presidential visit to the Gambia from Turkey. This event concluded on a celebratory note thanks to Turkish Airlines, which provided 2 lucky attendees with plane tickets to Turkey, adding an extra touch of excitement to the evening. For QTV News, I am Julian.
Now, as part of preparations for the 30th United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP30, scheduled to take place in Brazil, the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources organized a forum on Wednesday to orient accredited national delegates on key aspects of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Jacqueline Coley reports.
The orientation equips the Gambian delegation to effectively represent national interests at COP30 and provide a platform to present and discuss the Gambia's position ahead of the global climate talks. According to Lamines Jame, Director of Finance at the Ministry of Environment, the session aims to ensure that national priorities such as climate finance, adaptation, and loss and damage are strategically advanced during the conference.
We are going to negotiate on very contentious issues. We do not expect to agree on everything because climate change affects every country differently, which means our priorities will be different, our expectations are going to be different, and we are going to engage with people who have different perspectives and different objectives about the whole COP.
The orientation comes at a pivotal time for global climate action as countries prepare to submit enhanced nationally determined contributions (NDCs) under the Paris Agreement. COP30 is viewed as a key milestone towards achieving the 2030 climate goals, emphasizing faster transitions from fossil fuels, stronger climate resilience, and greater accountability for existing commitments. Here is Rohi John Manjang, Minister for Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, on Gambia's key priorities heading to the COP in November.
The main priority is to make sure that at least there is effective mechanism in accessing climate finance, which has been lacking. The definition to climate finance has not been properly attended to. That's why we see whereby climate finance incorporate or include loans, grants, everything put together, which is not fair for us. Gambia contributed very little to climate impact. So therefore we stand on the position that access to climate finance needs to be very clear.
Minister Manjang emphasized the need for fair climate financing, noting that the Gambia, like other least developed countries, contributes little to the global climate crisis.
The Gambia's LTA, that's our long-term climate strategy, is costed to $4 billion as of 2022. So imagine, and within that, we have the conditional and then the unconditional targets to meet. So if you want the Gambia to take from its taxpayers' money to finance crises that we are not part of, because it's a global call. Whatever we are mitigating, we are not mitigating within the boundaries of the Gambia. We are doing this on behalf of the global world. So therefore, those that emitted, we are not saying that pay 50-50, but at least let it be considerate. And this is where we are having the crisis. We want those that are responsible to take their full responsibility and foot the bills.
By strengthening the capacity of its delegates, the Gambia aims to play an active and informed role in shaping global climate policies while reaffirming its commitment to sustainable development and environmental stewardship. Established in 1995 after the 1992 Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro, the United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP, convenes world leaders annually to assess progress on climate action, set emission targets, and enhance global cooperation to COP warning and support climate adaptation. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jacqueline Coley.
And a report there by Jacqueline Coley will lead us to the commercial break, but we'll be right back.
Browse with us. QCell brings you a promo like never before. Get unlimited internet for just $25. Yes! Recharge $25 and enjoy the convenience of free internet from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. every day with our Browse with Us promo. With this amazing offer, you can browse, stream, and download all your favorite movies for free. So why wait? Recharge $25 today and enjoy free internet only with QCell between 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. For more information, call customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Bus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience.
Welcome back. Following the commercial break, be reminded you're watching QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studios on Kairaba Avenue. Now, the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy launched the We Elevate project, an initiative designed to empower women-led micro, small and medium enterprises to embrace digital transformation and strengthen their participation in the digital economy. Jacqueline Coley again.
Targeting 117 women entrepreneurs, the project seeks to equip beneficiaries with essential digital and entrepreneurial skills, access to e-commerce platforms, and financial inclusion opportunities to boost their business growth and economic resilience. Alpha Huma, a fund manager at the Ministry of Gender, said empowering women in the digital space will play a vital role in advancing national development.
When women succeed, families prosper, the communities grow stronger, and our economy becomes more resilient. Through initiatives like We Elevate, we are breaking down the barriers that have too often limited women's participation in technology, finance, and entrepreneurship.
The We Elevate project will also create a supportive environment that encourages innovation and collaboration among women entrepreneurs, enabling them to expand their businesses beyond local boundaries and tap into global e-commerce opportunities. Here is Dr. Jojondur Tambedu, CEO of Insys Global and co-founder of AfriJola, sharing her thoughts on what it means to empower and elevate women in the digital world.
Gambia needs to really leapfrog in the digital era. But what happens if we leave half of our population behind, the women? So we have trained 13,000 women and youth on digital and financial literacy because we see that it's quite important to support our communities to leapfrog into the digital era and also benefit from it. So I'm really excited about this project. We're elevating women to make sure that they're not left behind.
According to Lamin Jabi, the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, the initiative aligns with the government's wider digital transformation agenda, aimed at fostering inclusive growth and empowering women.
We want to increase their participation in digital economy. We want to enhance their business acumen and digital skills. We also want to expand their access to local and global markets through e-commerce platforms, improving their access to finance and global markets through e-commerce platforms, as well as digital inclusion tools. Strengthening the enabling environment through pro-women regulatory reforms that foster business growth.
Participants in the We Elevate project are set to gain technical and financial literacy, along with access to networks that enhance visibility, foster partnership, and boost competitiveness in the rapidly evolving digital market space. Here is Fatu Banja, a beneficiary of the We Elevate project.
This training will be more beneficial once we understand how the digital market operates. We won't need to travel far to access our products, as technology allows us to receive them at our doorsteps and deliver directly to our customers.
The We Elevate project is a pivotal step in empowering women entrepreneurs, equipping them with digital skills, expanding market access, and driving inclusive economic growth across the Gambia and beyond. Reporting for KTV News, I am Jacqueline Coley.
Now, the Girls for the Future Foundation organized its second Rural Urban Girls Summit on Friday, which brought together young girls, mentors, and change makers for 2 days of learning, dialogue, and empowerment. Loliam Kamara witnessed the opening and Sina reports.
The two-day event held under the theme Bridging Divides, Building Futures, which runs from October 24 to 25, 2025, aims to bridge the rural-urban divide and celebrate girls' empowerment across the Gambia. The summit featured inspiring speeches, spoken word performances, motivational talks, and goodwill messages from prominent women leaders. The founder of the Girls for the Future Foundation, Priscilla H.D. Dunn, emphasized the need to strengthen connections between girls from rural and urban communities to build a more inclusive and equitable future. She revealed that when they first hosted the Rural Urban Girls Summit, it was born from a simple dream that every girl in the Gambia, regardless of where she lives, should have the opportunity to rise, to be heard, and to thrive.
We have now touched the lives of over 600 girls across the Gambia. Each of these girls have a story of courage, of hope, and transformation. But the most beautiful part, and truly the heart of our foundation, is a safe spaces we create, where our girls feel at home, where they can pour out their fears, share their challenges, and begin to heal.
Delivering their keynote addresses, Marian Jabang, Director of Gender at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, and Kodu Jeng, founder of Women in STEM Gambia, respectively, both commended Girls for the Future Foundation for creating a platform that amplifies girls' voices and fosters mentorship and leadership among young women.
As a Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, and as a government, as I am speaking on behalf of the Honourable Minister, we remain steadfast in our commitment to girls' education, empowerment and protection. Through various national programs and policies, we continue to advocate for the elimination of harmful practices, promote access to quality education, and create safe spaces for girls to learn, grow, and lead.
The keynote address was delivered by Honorable Dr. Abibatu Drame, Minister of Basic and Secondary Education.
The challenges facing girls in rural and urban areas differ. While some struggle with limited access to schools and resources, others battle the pressures of modern life. Self-image and social expectations, and this fundamentally affects the girls more. The expectations of society on us is too much. We just need to focus, and I am sure that you will be inspired by all the women who are able to make it, who are able to break those barriers.
Edora Taylor Thomas, GFTF Ambassador 2024, gave the vote of thanks. GFTF is a not-for-profit charitable organization founded in October 2013 with a profound mission to uplift and empower young, vulnerable girls and women living in the urban and rural areas of the Gambia. According to its founder, they are dedicated to nurturing their well-being and fostering personal growth through mentoring, guidance, and educational support. For QTV News, Loli M. Kamara.
And a report there by Loli M. Kamara will lead us to the international news. Now, in international news, on Thursday, the 30th of October, Chinese President Xi Jinping met with U.S. President Donald J. Trump in Busan, South Korea, on the sidelines of the upcoming APEC Leaders Summit. They aimed to chart a new course for China-U.S. relations after years of economic tension. Usman Jata reports.
After 7 years of intense trade conflict, President Trump and Xi appear to have made a clear choice: dialogue to pave the way forward.
And we're going to have a very successful meeting, I have no doubt. But he's a very tough negotiator. That's not good.
The press gathered, eagerly anticipating the outcome of this latest high-stakes conversation. This meeting is not just a discussion, it is a powerful symbol of what is possible when the world's two biggest economies come together.
It's a great honor to be with a friend of mine, really for a long time now, if you think about it. The very, very distinguished and respected President of China.
President Xi Jinping noted that under their joint leadership, relations between Beijing and Washington had remained stable on the whole. He stressed that China and the U.S. should be partners and friends despite their differences. President Xi said that history and reality both show the importance of cooperation, noting that it is normal for two leading economies to have friction now and then.
We've already agreed to a lot of things, and we'll agree to some more right now. But President Xi is a great leader of a great country, and I think we're going to have a fantastic relationship for a long period of time.
President Trump also highlighted China's upcoming hosting of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC 2026, and America's hosting of the G20 summit next year, saying both countries would work to make the event successful. President Xi noted China's 5.2% economic growth in the first 3 quarters of the year, calling it a remarkable achievement given global challenges. He said China's economy is a vast ocean, resilient and full of promise. He also reaffirmed China's focus on reform, innovation and shared global development, emphasizing that Beijing has no intention to challenge or replace anyone. The two leaders agreed to intensify dialogue on economic, energy and technological cooperation and to increase people-to-people exchanges. Xi stressed that dialogue is better than confrontation, urging both nations to maintain communication at all levels. The presidents also discussed collaboration on global issues such as artificial intelligence, infectious diseases, and anti-money laundering efforts. President Trump expressed his wish to visit China early next year and invited President Xi to visit Washington. Both leaders left Busan pledging a renewed spirit of cooperation for global stability. Osman Jata, QTV News, Beijing, China.
And I'm afraid that's all about it for this bulletin. But before we take a leave of you, here's a recap from in headlines. The Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy on Thursday validated the deliverables of the consultancy on identifying and strengthening cybersecurity management and critical information infrastructure of the Gambia. Turkey's embassy in the Gambia celebrated the 102nd anniversary of the Republic of Turkey with Ambassador F. Torka Oba reaffirming his country's commitment to peace, diplomacy and stronger ties with the Gambia. As part of preparations for the 30th United Nations Climate Change Conference COP30 scheduled to take place in Brazil, the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources organized a forum on Wednesday to orient accredited national delegates on key aspects of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. And the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy launched the We Elevate project, an initiative designed to empower women-led micro, small and medium enterprises to embrace digital transformation and strengthen their participation in the digital economy. And in international news, on Thursday, the 30th of October, President Xi Jinping met with President Donald J. Trump in Busan, South Korea, on the sidelines of the upcoming APEC Leaders Summit. That's all for this bulletin. Do join us again at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.